Today we are going to study about the approaches to study human geography. Approaches to study human geography. You see, there are lots of approaches, lots of paths. Approach means what? It means the path to study human geography. That means some ways are there to study human geography. And these approaches are different kinds. But out of these approaches, most important, we are having three approaches. These three approaches, first is known as the determinism or environmentalism. This is also known as naturalization of human. From the environmentalism, this is also known as environmentalism. This approach, environmentalism. For this word, I think you are able to understand that this is mainly depend upon environmentalism. Or from here also, naturalization. That means naturalization, nature. It's related to nature. That means it's related to environment. And humans. Naturalization of human means what? How do the human depend upon the nature? So if you see here, the most of the time, if you see man interact with the nature with the help of technology. Yes, it is true. With the help of technology, we are interacting with the nature. It is also not. It is not important that what he creates, but what what tools he uses to create. Technology indicates the level of cultural development of society. Understanding the nature and helps in creating technology. You can see there another thing also there. Understanding the friction and heat help to discover fire. Understanding the DNA help to eradicate diseases. Laws of thermodynamics help to develop first plants. Knowledge about the nature is extremely important to develop technology. So if you see the interaction between primitive society and the nature is called the environmental determinism. Yeah, from if you go back or now also if you see most of the time we are dependent on environment. Here, environment is playing a very important role. It is a very active role in environmentalism. In this school or in this approach, we are mainly focusing on environment. According to the environment, here, according to the environment, we people are doing our works. Whatever works you are doing in your life now, if you see whatever the cultivation you are doing according to the environment you are cultivating. Suppose in your place you are growing rice, okay? And same time in Punjab, Haryana, Bihar, in those places, mostly they are producing wheat. So why it's different? What is the difference? If you see there, these places, their environment is suitable for producing wheat, and our places mainly were favorable for producing rice. So this difference we can see and depend upon the environment. So similarly, the dress pattern, the human culture, it is also different in different part of the world. Why? According to the environment. In the cooler region, if you see, most of the time they are wearing the warm clothes. And in the drier and hotter region, if you go there, you can see most of the time they are wearing the cotton clothes. Why? Depend upon the environment. Why they are doing like that? Only basis of environment. So environment is playing a very important role here. The environment is active and environment is determining what we will do. On the surface of the earth, we because we are doing different kind of activities. Whatever the activities you are doing, or maximum activities we are doing according to that. So here we can say that man is the slave of environment, and elements of nature and environment are all powerful, and man is totally influenced by the force of nature. Man is an insignificant and helpless creature before the natural forces. Yes, we sometimes this kind of situations come to us that we become helpless. Suppose nowadays this pandemic, coronavirus pandemic, mm, lots of time we are not able to produce the vaccine. Why? Because why? Because our technology is not enough to cure it. So now we are following some rules and regulation, which now the environment is giving. We are making rules, no doubt. Social distancing and all, these are no doubts. We are making rules. But if you see from the side of environmentalism, then why we are following? Because it's must to us. Who is deciding? Environment is deciding. If you will not follow this rule, then this virus will spread to you. So most mostly we are following environmental rule. Just we are writing somewhere or just we are spreading among us, then we have to follow the social distance, then it will not get us. Our virus will not affect us. Then why? That is environmentalism. Because we are only spreading that news, but this rule is there that this is the one distance is there. Up to the distance, it can grow. That we got that point, and we are saving ourselves by following the environmental rules. Similarly, lots of time, different kind of pandemics are coming, different kind of uh, places are there on the surface of the earth. If you see all those places, suppose you are living in highlands. In highlands, most of the time we are facing the landslide problem. Landslide problem, to save ourselves from the landslide problem, according to the environment, we are doing our works. And to produce something in cultural system also, if it's agricultural system, then in higher land it will be different, in the lower land it will be different. So why it is different? This difference is come because of the environment. This environment is determining how we will do our activities. So that following the environment is known as the naturalization of human. And this approach, who is giving us? Naturalization of, naturalization of human, or determinism, or environmentalism, or environmental determinism. This approach was given by the Greek and Roman scholars, and they have given major contribution towards the naturalization of human or environmentalism. Like our uh, scholars like Hippocrates, Aristotle, Herodotus, Strabo, all of them, they have lots of contribution towards the naturalization of human or humanization of nature. And the same time, if we see some others, its extent, these approaches extend up to the Arabian cultures also. Arabian scholars or Arabian geographers also has given uh, lots of ideas or contribution, lots of contribution towards the naturalization of human. And others in German geographers like Immanuel Kant, then Alexander von Humboldt, and that Karl Ritter, and the Friedrich Russell, all of them, they have given their contribution towards the naturalization of human. And out of them, out of all those scholars, one scholar is known as the father of environmentalism. Yes, none of them. He is only the one who is known as the father of modern human geography, Frederick Russell. Frederick Russell is known as the father of uh, environmentalism. He has given lots of points in support of environmentalism. So this approach or this school of study, environmentalism, is led by Frederick Russell. So, and a lot of followers are there. Like I have told you that Karl Ritter, Alexander von Humboldt, they are following Frederick Russell. And similarly, some other geographers of the different parts of the world also followed Frederick Russell, like Alan C. Sample from America, and Elizabeth Huntington. They are from United States of America. They also follow the same theory or same approaches to study human geography, naturalization of human or environmentalism. So this is about the environmentalism. So next we are having other approaches to study human geography. Then that is also little bit different, which is just opposite to environmentalism. That is humanization of nature. This humanization of nature is also it is typical because it is not following human environmental rules. It is doing whatever is environment is deciding, it is doing against that. Suppose we peoples we are having technology. These technologies we are using, by using these technologies we can save ourselves from the natural forces. Suppose nowadays by using greenhouses, you can produce different kind of vegetables in any time. So what we are having technology, we are changing the nature in a particular area. We can change it. So nature, we peoples not following the nature. Now nature is following us. So according to the human, nature have to do whatever human needs. To fulfill human needs, nature have to do like that. So that is humanization of nature. That known as is also known as possibilism. Possibilism. That is possibilism. Why possibilism? Possibilism, that means it is possible. We can change. Possibilities are there. That we can change our nature. This possibility is there. How is this possible? Suppose if you are in a temperate area or in a cooler region where the snowfall is there, but then also you can move in that snow. Why? By using vehicles, by using some technologies. And if it is too cool in one place, then we can use heaters. By using heaters, we can warm ourselves. And similarly, if nature is too hot, then we can use AC and we can cool ourselves in AC. So that possibility is there. Now I think all of you, you are having fan and ACs in your home. Fan, mainly fan in your home. Why you are using fan? To cool yourself. Now nature is hot, and we are not going according to the nature. What we are doing? We are trying to change the nature, or we are trying to change the environment. In your environment it is too hot. By using fan you're trying to change the nature or to make the nature cool. So according to the human, nature is growing in the environment is growing in that particular area. So that is known as the humanization of nature. With the development of technology, people understood the nature well. They moved from state of necessity to state of possibilities. Yes. Human activities create cultural landscape. So it called possibilities. Let's see. By the development of technology, people understood the nature. What is nature? We understood better. And after understood that nature, we are trying to change it. And then, before, if you see nature nation of human, why it was there? Because people have the necessity. They are crying for the necessities. Now we got our necessities. Now we're trying to get the possibilities. Whatever possible things are there, we are trying to get it. So human activities create a cultural landscape. Human activities, they are changing. They are making a different kind of landscape, and according to that landscape only we are doing our works. So we are never thinking whether it is a cooler season or whether it is a summer season or whether it is a rainy season. We are never thinking about that. Whatever the season is there, whatever the nature is there, but we have to do our own works. That means our activities we have to do. So that is humanization of nature. Possibility is there. Everywhere possibility is there. Most of you, I think you are believing on possibilities. Why it's not? It's possible. Why not? Everything is possible because we are having technology. But then also, if you see, sometimes if you criticize if we are going to criticize the humanization of nature, then you see there that still we are having lots of technology, then also we are not able to making our vaccine for coronavirus. Why? So somewhere that point is also there. So anyway, now come to the point that maximum time we are having possibilities. So this is known as the humanization of nature. So in humanization of nature, man is playing the active role and nature is playing the passive role. So whatever the environmental determination that led to the counter thesis of possibilism, which presented the man as an active rather than passivism. In naturalization of human or environmentalism, environment is active, and humanization of nature or possibilism, human is active. So if we see the same thing, the Greek and Roman civilization flourished on Mediterranean climate, but similar climate prevails in Australia, South Africa, Chile, California, where no such civilization flourished. This Mediterranean civilization. It is same climate is there, but in Australia, the Mediterranean civilization not grow. Different places having different kind of nature. I told you, but all over the world, lots of places are there. Their similarities are also. Nature is similar, environment is similar, but their culture is different. Why? This they are changing. They are changing the nature. They are changing the environment. So that is possibilities. It is possibilism, and this school or this approach is first time given by one geographer. He is known as a French scholar, Louis Fabry. Louis Fabry first used the term the possibilism. Louis Fabry was the person who has first used the term possibilism in his book, which is known as A Geographical Introduction to History. In his book, Louis Fabry's book is Geographical Introduction to History. In his book, he wrote there, the true and only geographical problem is that of utilization of possibilities. There are no necessities, but everywhere possibilities. And the man, as the master of these possibilities, is judge of their use. Although the concept, the possibilism became very popular after the World War One. This is Louis February before World War One only he used the term possibilism, but that time it was not so much popular. But after the World War One, our geographer, another French geographer, Vidal de la Blasi, started or popularized these approaches to study human evolution. So, and this Vidal de la Blasi was followed by lots of geographers like Jean Brunhes and Barrow, Saver. They are the main geographers who have followed Vidal de la Blasi, or who is believing that possibilities are there, or believing on possibilism. So this is about the possibilism. So I think you have understood this one, possibilism. So next, if you see this humanization is of nature, and after that it will be most important. Another approach is there, which is known as neo determinism. Neo determinism, it is developed by Australian geographer Griffith Taylor. It is also known as the stop and go determinism. Why it is known as stop and go determinism? It is middle part between the environmentalism and the possibilism. This concept shows that neither is there a situation of absolute necessity or is there a condition of absolute freedom. We are not totally free. I mean, there is a condition of absolute freedom. Sustainable development is the main aim of this neo-determinism. The neo-determinism maintains the balance between the development and the nature. Let's see, if you are following only the environmentalism, then you are not able to develop. And if you need development, you have to go against nature. But if you see that if you need only development, then you are destroying the nature. And when you destroying the nature, then it will take another way, or it will dangerous to us. So every time we cannot follow only the nature. If you are not, or if you are only following the nature, whatever nature is telling, then like that you are doing, then you should be on that jungle stage. You should be on primitive stage. So now we are in modern, ultra modern stage. So how you come to this ultra modern stage? This to come to this ultra modern stage, we are following nature, or sometimes we are destroying nature, or we are going against the nature. Whenever you are going against the nature, then you are able to develop. Suppose in a place, in Itanagar, once upon a time, there was no building in this Itanagar, and it is covered by, most of the area covered by jungle. That is totally nature. That time also people were there. That time also people were there. In other places of the world, or other places of India also, if you see, the whole area is covered by jungle, and we people live in the jungle. But slowly, if you come to the 1200 million years ago, when people learn the things step by step, that you can change the nature, and they started growing foods, and they started to settle in one place. Before, according to the nature, they are going here, here and there, they are going. But now, if you see, that time, these people, they were slowly settled in one place, and after that, they are growing, or they are producing their own food, and they are started making their home and all these things they learn step by step. And then this settlement slowly doing defined kind of activities, and they are changing themselves in that place. And all those places where they settle first, that places they become as the urban area. And where people stayed later, that place is still in rural. So that means what do you understand from there? I think you understood that people are going against the nature to develop their areas, develop themselves, go against the nature. If they follow that whole condition of nature, like they are settling on tree or in uh, trees and they were in tree leaves, buckles, all those things, if still they are wearing, then you will be the same condition. You should be on the jungle condition. So we change it and we follow the possibilism. At the end, before in primitive stage, people were in possible environmentalism, and then they change it slowly, then it's possible. But in between this environmentalism and possibilism, another way is also there. That is known as the neo-determinism. Let's say neo-determinism is also it is known as the present-day determinism or scientific determinism. It is a scientific way to say. So here you can see that between the extremes of determinism and possibilism, a new concept has been developed in geography, which is known as neo-determinism. In fact, it is a compromise between extreme philosophies because of development is possible without the combined effect of favorable environment and the efforts by man. So actually, in this reference, if I say, actually, this environment neo-determinism is telling if you are extremely if you are following nature, then also development will not be there. And if you are following extremely possibilism, then you are disturbing nature. So we have to balance it. Suppose same example I'm taking from the environmentalism to the this new determinism or stop and go determinism till here, we see the case of coronavirus. It's totally driven on this new determinism. We can uh, study the coronavirus thing. How these peoples are so developed, we are ultra modern and we are doing different kind of researches. But whenever we are doing our researches and by using technologies we are destroying our nature, then nature is also not able to bear that pain. So when they are not able to bear that pain, they have reacting mass. When the reaction comes, then suddenly this virus, let's see the study of coronavirus, there was a SARS virus. The SARS virus we try to destroy it, but it is and that time it was not totally destroyed by the scientists. Slowly it grows, and the environment, let's say, environment is the thing like that. When you are doing your works, I am giving you lots of opportunities to develop yourself. The environment is giving us all those things, whatever the things you are using in your home, whatever things you are using in your school, all those things are coming from the nature. Nature is giving us enough opportunities. Whenever they are giving enough opportunities, we are using all those things. And this by using technology, that's possible. Let's say they are giving the trees, that we are cutting the trees, that is possible. Cutting the trees is possible. And then by cutting the trees, we are making different kind of furnitures and all. That is possible. Who is giving? Nature is giving us. And whenever you are cutting more and more natural thing, then what will happen? One day the trees will not be there, totally bare land will be there. And when trees will not be there, then rain will not be there, and that bare land becomes slowly the arid land. It will be a desert, totally. Now, nowadays, temperature, if you see, temperature day by day, temperature is growing. Because why? Why? This because of the possibility. We know that it is possible. Changing of nature is possible. So we are doing extremely we are changing. Whenever extremely you are changing the nature, then nature is totally it changes itself. When it changes itself, then it is not possible to us to stop it. So, neo-determinism or stop-and-go determinism is the approach which is directing you to go in, like the traffic police. This is the point. There are three ways are there, and out of this, whenever you are going somewhere, then traffic police never change your speed. Just it change your direction. That there no parking or no entry is there, then you have to change your direction. So like that, this stop and go, this thing is there. Like that, this way is there. So it is known as stop and go determinism, or it is known as scientific determinism. So this is about the neo-determinism. Neo-determinism is totally a new new approach to study human behavior. So these are the three approaches to study. So out of the three approaches, we are having some other approaches also. These are known as like behavioral approaches is there, welfare approach is there, humanism is there. So positivism is there. These are some other approaches to study, but as a fundamental thing, we have to know these three approaches. So just for today, enough. Thank you.